News24, welcome back to a brand new Monday mock draft. As you see, like I said, today is going to be a 7-round mock draft with trades. If you guys are new to the channel, subscribe, like the video, and let's go right into it. The first trade we got is from the Washington Commanders to trade down to pick 36 and 78. The Chiefs also offered, but I did not want to trade with the Kansas City Chiefs. Ravens right here, we're not trading with the Ravens. Right here, I picked 36. I decided to go with offensive lineman. We went with Jordan Morgan. He's a great athlete. He's very, very good, and he's one of the raw talents at the tackle spot in this draft in the second round. That is a really good value pick right here. I was looking at that Lions trade, but ended up not trading with the Detroit Lions. It was a really good trade, but instead I was looking at the defensive tackles and the edge. Looking at Michigan defensive tackle Chris Jenkins and Brandon Fisker, I ended up going with Chris Jenkins in the second round here, or second round pick. And the third round, the Packers offered in the Bengals. I declined both. I picked 78. I was looking at the defensive tackle again. I saw Blake Fisher still on the board, which was very surprising. I also saw McKinney Jackson still on the board, and also Mason Smith. Those are three defensive tackles that I like, but I end up looking at the edges, and I saw Marshawn Kneeland, who visited the 49ers already, and I really like him, so I decided to pick him here in round 3, pick 78. Here I picked 94. I decided to go with the offense. I was looking at the wide receivers. Some good wide receivers on the board was Tez Walker was still on the board. Malik Washington was still on the board. Luke McCaffrey, Brandon Rice, and Bob Means, who I really like late in the draft. I was really looking for T.O. Sun because he just popped up on my timeline. He just visited with the 49ers, but I ended up going with Brandon Rice to keep the Rice last name in the Bay Area to keep the legacy going. The Bills offered. I ended up declining that one to stay at pick 124. I end up looking at the safeties. Of course, we got Malik Mustafa at the top, Saka Vaka right there, Tyke Smith. I ended up looking at the linebackers because the 49ers need a linebacker who could fill in for that Dre Greenlaw injury as he heals up. Here at 124, I went back on offense. I saw Theo Johnson, but I ended up taking Malik Mustafa, the safety from Wake Forest. Here I pick 132. It's too good of a value to pass up on Theo Johnson, the talent from Penn State. I ended up picking Theo Johnson. 3 picks later, I stay on the offensive side. I was looking at the tight end once again. Eric All was still on the board, which was very surprising to me, seeing Eric All, who's a very solid running back or tight end that was still on the board. I went to look at the running backs. Marshawn Lord is still on the board. You got Isaiah David. Also, you got Isaac. I don't know his last name, Isaac G from Louisville. I ended up picking him with pick 135 here. At pick 176, I end up looking on the defensive side first. End up looking at the cornerbacks. You got Jair Jones, who's still on the board there. You got Kamarius Richardson. I feel like I said his name wrong, but the corner from Mississippi State, who's a really good corner, who's still on the board, is very surprising. And I'm going back to the offensive side. I went to go look at offensive guards, and I end up selecting Dylan McMillan on NC State to just beef up the 49ers depth. I believe I said his name wrong. I'm so sorry. But at pick 211, I decided to go back on the corner side, and I went with cornerback Quentin Newsome. I ended up was looking for a different cornerback, the guy, DR, the guy who I named Richardson, but he ended up being picked already, so I ended up settling for Nebraska cornerback Quentin Newsome from Nebraska. Here at pick 215, I end up going back on the offensive side and getting a offensive wide receiver and Bob Means from Pittsburgh. I really like Bob Means from Pittsburgh. He is 6'2". He's a really good wide receiver. He is actually one of my sleepers wide receivers in this draft class, one of my favorite wide receivers in this draft. And then for the last pick at 251, as you guys saw, I went with Nathaniel Watson from Mississippi State. So recapping our draft at pick 31, I traded down to pick 36 to pick Jordan Morgan from Arizona. At pick 63, I drafted defensive tackle Chris Jenkins. At pick 78, I drafted Marshawn Kneeland from Western Michigan. And pick 94, I ended up getting the Hall of Famer Jerry Rice's son and Brandon Rice. At pick 124, I picked up Malik Mustafa from Wake Forest. Pick 132, Theo Johnson. Pick 135, Isaac. Don't ask his last name, Isaac G. At 176, I ended up picking Dylan McMullen, think that's his last name wrong, so Dylan M from NC State. I picked 211, I picked up Quentin Newsome. I picked 215, I picked up one of my favorite late round wide receivers in Bob Means. And I picked 251, I picked up Nathaniel Watson, a very underrated linebacker in this draft. If you guys enjoyed this video, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for next Monday for another Monday mock draft.